Said there's a process that needs to go through, and once he's able to go through that process, we'll be supportive as we can, make sure we do everything in our power to help him make better decisions as we go forward and be the player that we think he's capable of being and that we've seen him be.
Has the situation shaped your recent off-season plans?
Goslin was a player that we like, and the options give us flexibility. It was a move we probably would have made anyway, but it certainly gives us a little bit more depth in the infield. We've got some guys like him, but feels a little bit more advanced and has more major league time and more major league experience. And we've been looking to add a right-handed versatile bat, and he came available. And certainly with the chain of events, it should be a good add for us.
If needed, do you think Freese could be an everyday guy at third?
We do. I mean, obviously he's not that far removed from being a quality regular major league player. He played an extended period for us last year and played quite well as Gong was coming back from the injury. And we've got some flexibility again. Goslin, Frazier, some other infielders can bounce around and play some different positions. So even if we need to spell him here and there, we certainly feel very comfortable David could step in and play on a regular basis if need be.
Neal, what do you do in the middle of the order without Gung's bat if it becomes a long-term situation?
The guy that's standing here next probably a much better equipped to answer that question, as he's the one that puts the lineups together. He takes a ton of input, but we've got a variety of guys that can do different things in the batter's box, and it's about sequencing. It's about getting guys on base. It's about getting some balls in the gaps, some balls in the seats, and we feel like we've got a number of guys that can do that and help us score runs.
Neal, have you ever had experience with anything like this, trying to deal with a trial that you don't, in another country that who knows how long it could go on for?
Fortunately, no, but it is what it is, and we've got 60-some players here in camp that we're excited about, and when and if we're able to get him in here, he's going to help us, and we're going to help him, but it's out of our control right now. We've got to dominate our controllables and do everything in our power to help these guys go out and be great.
Do you have to do anything with him roster-wise, 40-man roster-wise, until the trial situation is cleared up?
The 40-man is pretty much set in the off-season. If a player is injured and is going to be out the first 60 days of the Major League season, you can put him on the 60-day effective, I think, yesterday or the day before. But outside of that, once the rosters get set, that's when you begin to have those considerations.
Something like the restricted list, would that be a possibility in this?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, we're far away from that.
Okay.
The guy you guys acquired last week, Pat Light, what did you like about him?
It's a different look for us. We don't have guys with split fingers. It's a power sink. Get swings and misses, gets ground balls. There are some things that we think we can help him play in the zone a little bit better. But it was an upside arm that has had some challenges, but has had some profile about him, and felt like it was a good guy to see if we can help.
It's kind of a slow-moving free agent market this past winter, and there's still a decent number of guys out there in different positions. Are you still on the hunt for somebody, perhaps? Would there be enough flexibility to add somebody if needed or if wanted?
Yeah, I mean, we stay engaged with the free agents, and really hasn't been anybody that's surprised us in terms of what they've signed for or how they signed or where they signed. Always looking to find ways to help us get a little bit better. And going into the offseason, I bet most of you weren't going to have that we'd signed the 13th most valuable contract and have spent 10th most money in baseball this year. But I think that's probably more a sign of the industry this year and the class than anything else. But we do. We'll always look for ways to see if there's, whether it's small ways or medium ways or sometimes big ways, to see if we can help ourselves get better, and always walking that balance of short, moderate, and long-term vision.
Are you concerned that all three of your starting outfielders could be out of camp until late in March? Well,
again, it's the time that they're out. And they're all on very good teams. Marte and Polanco obviously on Team Dominican, and McCutcheon on USA. So there's a chance those clubs will go deep, and that's a great experience for them. And they're going to get their at-bats, they're going to get their playing time, they're going to get their work that they need to be ready to go. Yes, in a perfect world, you've got all three in camp in a year in which you're transitioning roles and positions, but they're professionals. They'll be ready to go when the bell rings, and we'll capitalize on the time that we do have them here.
Have you asked Jimmy Cleveland to play Andrew and Wright with Team USA?
Again, that's part of the process of going to Team USA is there's a balance between what they need to do and what our aspirations and needs are, and we have a complete trust and respect in Jim, and he's going to do what he needs to do to win games without putting guys in tough situations.
I think we've heard about Marte 50 center and McCutcheon and Wright, but what Why do you guys feel comfortable with Polanco moving over to the left?
Again, as we went through the entire process and tried to weigh everything that we possibly could weigh and tried to collect as much information and as many thoughts and as many opinions, and there's really no one single thing that we can point to as to why we made the decision to put anybody in any spot. But as a collective, we felt that this was, for them and for us, the best alignment.
Is there anything Tyler can do to show that he's ready to go north with the team? Or does he have to do work at the major league level to prove that he's rotation ready at this point?
Well, his results at AAA last year show he dominated. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He dominated AAA baseball last year, and those results didn't translate, which again reinforces the difference in talent and depth and ability and application between AAA and the big leagues has never been greater. I feel like I've been saying that for 7 years now, but 8, maybe 10. But it's true. The talent gap between the two levels is significant. And what can he do this spring? He can show us that he's continued to mature. He's continued to refine his mechanics. He's continued to refine the repeatability and consistency of the quality of the pitches. The changeup has become a weapon for him. So, I mean, trust me, if Tyler Glasnow is ready to help us at the major league level, that's a good thing for us, and we'll absolutely give him that opportunity. And if he's not, we'll continue to work to help him get ready, because when he puts this all together, he's going to be a fun pitcher to watch.
How would you describe the bottom of the rotation in terms of opportunities available and who's in play to seize them?
Yeah, Chad Kuhl comes in on an inside track based on what he did in his half season, essentially in the big leagues last year, especially when we take into consideration that he really wasn't the Chad Kuhl that had success in AAA, that was more ground ball oriented, more bottom of the zone oriented. Chad, adrenaline is an incredible competitor. Adrenaline probably got the best of him and elevated a few more pitches, but again, his ability to add and subtract and to feel and to compete and to just make some big pitches when he needed to. Now we get him to a year in, get him to get the ball down in the zone, get that sink back again, let the changeup and slider work for him. He should be in a position. Drew Hutchison, Tyler Glasnow, Stephen Brault, Trevor Williams have all put themselves in position for legitimate consideration. And we'll see how that plays out. A couple guys are probably ahead of others, and Hutchison in terms of the experience that he has, Glasnow in terms of the ceiling that he has. But Steve Brault, prior to the hamstring, was a different guy than we saw at the major league level last year. More power, more quality of the stuff, more crispness of the stuff. If that guy's back again, he's going to open some eyes, and Trevor Williams can put the ball on the ground. He can get some swings and misses. He's the type of guy that could be in a rotation as well. So we're in good shape there. LeBlanc will get a look stretched out here in spring training, and then the guy that we're looking for at some point, probably later in the season than early in the season, will be Nick Kingham. Nick's kind of the man that has gotten pushed aside because of the injury, but he's a guy that's still on our radar and a guy that we're still excited about. But again, much like Tyon, the expectation is he's probably going to be ready a little bit later because of the injury and coming back from it.
Does LeBron kind of in that Juan Nicasio situation right now, where you're expecting him maybe to be in the?
We love the upside of the rotation. Garrett Cole healthy again, and being Garrett Cole, Jamison Tyon, if he continues to grow and develop the things that we saw last year in his half season. Chad Kuhl, what we saw in his half season, the growth and development there. The upside of some of the guys that are capable of filling roles, of any of the guys that we just got done mentioning. There's a lot of upside. There's much more uncertainty than maybe there has been in the past with a veteran with the back of a baseball card like Ryan Vogelsong or like John Neese. Nicasio had more experience, so we get the angst of the lack of experience and the lack of a baseball card, but we do like this group collectively and feel that this group has a real quality ceiling and could put us in a position to have more starters than we have spots, and that's a great spot to be.
Josh Bell seems confident that he'll be ready for opening day health-wise, glove-wise. Is he ready to play every day at first base?
As we saw last year, that there's still a work in progress. This is year 3 of him playing first base, and again, unlike most guys where they played the infield growing up and then they moved to the outfield, Josh played the outfield growing up, and there's work to be done. He's worked so hard. Kevin Young and Joey Cora, since he's come on board in that role, they've worked with Josh. Josh has worked hard. Work is never going to be a question. A loose body was removed. No surgeries, minor, unless you're not the one that underwent the surgery, then it's easy to call it minor. But he seems like he's in a great spot. Physically, he was in tremendous shape before the loose body moved and bothered him during one of his workouts, and we had to go get that thing out of there. So he should be in a good spot. He should be ready to go, assuming everything continues to progress well. We love the bat and the glove. He's going to work. He's going to do everything in his power, and we feel like he can be an adequate first baseman that'll develop into more.
With the outfield configuration, fair to say that Brain